Welcome to our US Briefing Show. Today, we're diving into some exciting and serious stories from around the country. First up, President Donald Trump is making headlines with a major peace deal involving Armenia and Azerbaijan. He's hosting them at the White House to sign the Trump Route, a strategic transit corridor that could change regional dynamics, reduce Russian influence, and boost economic growth. It's a big step toward stability in a historically tense area. Next, for all the local history buffs, Maine-based writer Sharon Kitchens has created an amazing online map called Stephen King's Maine, revealing real locations behind the famous author's stories. Her project has gained popularity, and her book, endorsed by King himself, brings regional lore to life, highlighting the magic of local stories and history. And finally, a serious and ongoing investigation in New Jersey. The Franklin Township Police Department is under scrutiny after a deadly shooting involving a state trooper. The incident resulted in the tragic deaths of a woman, her boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend, a police lieutenant. The prosecutor's office has taken over the case, and the department's leadership is on leave. Stay tuned as authorities continue to dig into what happened. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed coverage. CNN reports an unprecedented diplomatic breakthrough in the South Caucasus, where President Donald Trump is orchestrating a historic peace deal between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The agreement not only promises peace but also grants the United States exclusive rights to develop a new transit corridor, dubbed the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity, TRIP. This corridor is set to enhance connectivity between the two nations while respecting Armenia's sovereignty, operating under Armenian legal jurisdiction, and symbolically named after Trump himself. The deal also involves the disbandment of the Minsk Group, which had long mediated their disputes, signaling a major shift in regional diplomacy. As negotiations kick off, the Trump administration views this as a strategic move to reduce Russian influence and unlock economic potential in the region, coinciding with a deadline for Russia to halt its invasion of Ukraine or face sanctions. The Associated Press highlights the rich tapestry of local history and culture preserved through the works of the History Press, a publisher dedicated to regional storytelling across America. Among their diverse catalog, Sharon Kitchens' Stephen King's Maine stands out, blending literary fame with local lore. Kitchens' journey began with an online map exploring the real-life inspirations behind King's fictional worlds, which eventually blossomed into a published book, even earning an endorsement from King himself. The press's authors are often passionate community members, retirees, historians, or hobbyists, who craft brief, illustrated works that celebrate local stories, from New Orleans' haunted sites to Montana's ghost towns. These books serve as cultural touchstones, allowing small communities to share their unique narratives with a broad audience, often generating enduring interest and sales over time. The Associated Press also reports on a serious law enforcement crisis in Franklin, New Jersey, where the local police force has been taken over by the county prosecutor following troubling revelations about a deadly shooting involving a state trooper. The investigation uncovered significant concerns about the department's handling of the incident, which involved the shooting death of a woman and her boyfriend, linked to a complex web of personal relationships and harassment allegations. The town's police chief and a sergeant have been placed on administrative leave, and the prosecutor's office has assumed control of daily operations to ensure accountability and transparency. This intervention underscores the gravity of the situation, reflecting broader issues of police effectiveness and oversight, especially in the wake of a tragic event that has shaken the community's trust. The Associated Press reports a historic moment in the South Caucasus, where President Donald Trump is orchestrating a groundbreaking peace summit at the White House, bringing together the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan to resolve a conflict that has persisted for nearly 4 decades. The summit aims to establish a new transit corridor named the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity, designed to connect Azerbaijan with its Nakhchivan region through Armenian territory, symbolizing a significant step towards regional connectivity and cooperation. This agreement, coupled with bilateral deals on energy, technology, and the economy, marks a major diplomatic breakthrough, especially as Azerbaijan recently reclaimed control of the Nagorno-Karabakh region, and Armenia seeks to reduce Russian influence in favor of Western alliances. The summit's success could reshape regional geopolitics, ending a long-standing cycle of violence and opening new pathways for peace and prosperity. The Yahoo US coverage highlights a different kind of pursuit of justice, where advocacy groups are suing the Justice Department and FBI to gain access to records related to Jeffrey Epstein. The case underscores ongoing concerns about transparency and accountability in handling high-profile criminal investigations involving allegations of sexual exploitation and abuse of minors. The lawsuit seeks to shed light on the extent of Epstein's connections and the potential involvement of powerful figures, emphasizing the importance of public oversight in cases that have captivated national attention. This legal action reflects broader societal demands for justice and transparency, especially in cases where the powerful may have evaded scrutiny, and signals continued efforts to uncover the full scope of Epstein's network. Meanwhile, the South China Morning Post offers a snapshot of China's latest advancements and challenges. It reports that China has launched its first drone ship capable of recovering reusable rockets, positioning itself as only the second nation after the United States to master this technology, an impressive milestone in its space program. The article also discusses the likelihood of a 90-day extension to the US-China tariff truce, signaling ongoing trade negotiations. Additionally, it explores how China's job market is evolving, with tech giants' aggressive hiring fueling a trend among families to encourage children into STEM fields. The report warns that U.S. tariffs on chips could push Southeast Asia closer to China, risking economic realignment. It also highlights public health concerns, as efforts to eliminate mosquitoes in southern China to combat chikungunya fever face criticism, and warns of geopolitical tensions with the Philippines over Taiwan remarks. These stories collectively depict a nation balancing technological innovation, economic strategy, health challenges, and diplomatic tensions amidst a rapidly changing global landscape. According to the Associated Press, despite President Donald Trump's history of withdrawing from international climate agreements, the United States has surprisingly engaged in the Geneva negotiations for a global treaty aimed at ending plastic pollution. This rare participation involves over 3,700 delegates from 184 countries and more than 600 organizations, reflecting a strategic move by the U.S. to safeguard its interests and economic prosperity. The U.S. emphasizes the importance of addressing waste management, recycling, and product design, advocating for solutions that foster innovation and protect natural resources without imposing strict production caps or bans on plastics. The U.S. government highlights the significance of the plastics industry, which contributes over $500 billion annually to the economy and supports about 1 million jobs, arguing that a balanced approach is essential to prevent unintended economic consequences and maintain global competitiveness. In contrast, the U.S. stance in Geneva reveals a cautious resistance to measures that threaten plastic production, primarily because most plastics are derived from fossil fuels, and limiting production could significantly increase greenhouse gas emissions. The U.S. opposes binding caps on plastic manufacturing or bans on specific products, fearing such measures could disrupt industries and inflate costs. During the negotiations, the U.S. proposed removing language related to addressing the full life cycle of plastics, a move seen by environmentalists as a setback to controlling supply and demand. Industry leaders support the U.S. approach, viewing it as pragmatic, while environmental advocates criticize it for undermining the urgency of strong international regulations needed to combat the escalating plastic crisis. The U.S. aims to craft a treaty that is universally acceptable, balancing environmental concerns with economic and industrial realities, even as critics warn that this cautious stance may weaken the global effort to curb plastic pollution effectively. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spit, walls come down. Voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen. Every link a different theme, words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than us. Hear the voices rise aloud, truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe, still perspectives day by day. Hidden truths come to play. In the background, shades of gray. Every story finds its way. Perspectives day by day. Hidden truths come to play. In the background, shades of gray. Every story finds its way. Cultures. I go. What really or do not. What enough to be you. Everything and ever. What enough enough to what enough enough to what enough 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 enough